Today's episode of Nintendo PlayStation Podcast is brought to you by Switch Island. Be sure to go over to their iTunes, over to their YouTube page, go follow their website, go do everything you can. Check out the Switch Island podcast as well as their supplementary podcast called Desert Island. Both podcasts are available on the same feed, so go check that out today. What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 8. Oh, fuck off, Toby. I forgot to do season. Hold on. He makes me say season, so it fucks me up every time.
You have to do season, Bobby.
Yeah. That's perfect. That's perfect. All right. Here we go. What is up, everybody, and welcome to season 3, episode 8 of Nintendo. I've had it fucking right, and I fucked it up in my mind. Okay, one more time. I don't really, you know what? I'm not even getting into it. Okay, here we go.
Hey, it's early. It's 8 o'clock, dude.
There's no excuse for it, Joe. It's no excuse for it. What is up, everybody, and welcome to Season 3, Episode 8 of the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by the hardest working Twitch streamer in all the land, Mr. JoAfterWork. How you doing there, sir?
Yo, good. We didn't record that part like 4 times.
Don't tell people that, man.
Hey, I have to dig in at least once.
Everybody thinks I'm professional. Everybody thinks I'm perfect. After doing,
everyone knows, okay? So when I get to see this side, it's awesome.
The problem is that, well, P&P, I only hosted the very first episode, and then Pat took it after that. And then, but you don't ever get to see the hosting side of me. Like, you normally just hear the finished product, or you hear me ranting on P&P. So this is a little bit different for you. Like, you get to see the behind the scenes.
Not entirely true. We did Nintendo talk together.
Yeah, that was so long ago.
But you were like bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, but that was bad. Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. But I was like, I don't want to jinx myself. I better knock on some wood here, real hardcore, because I'm going to mess up. Dude, when I do Nintendo Talk Live, for some reason I never mess up, and that's literally, this is no lie. That's literally like, okay, we'll start the intro, hit the intro, and then I'm watching, and I come out of the intro, and I go right into it, and I never flub it. Now, next week, I'm going to mess up big time. It's that
live thing, man. It's that live thing.
I think it's because you have one take, and that's it. And it's like, you better get it right, man. You better get it right. So, I don't know. It's whatever. Speaking of that, man, last night's episode, I don't know if you heard it or not, or saw it, with Bill, Run Jump Stop. Oh, that guy is phenomenal, dude.
He's so good.
I'm in love with him, dude. He is amazing. Like, dude, he is... Like, let's kick Pat off of Planet Nintendo and bring him in.
He's such a good guy. Yeah, his Switchcraft podcast, dude. Like, I was randomly on one episode because of a whole misunderstanding on a stream. It was hilarious. But yeah, I had the opportunity to go on his show, and dude, he's solid. He's just good, a solid dude.
He's good. His points are spot on. I started listening to Switchcraft this week. And that's what, last week I started listening to it, and that's what actually made me go, hey, I got to get this guy on Nintendo Talk. Yeah. So I reached out to him, was like, hey, would you have any interest in coming on? He's like, yeah, man. Yeah, let's do it. And I was like, okay. And, but that, like, 30, 40-minute shot that he does 3 days a week, perfect. It's the perfect amount of time. It's not super hard to jump into. Because you think about it, most people do hour and a half podcasts anyway.
Yeah.
He's basically taking an hour and a half and breaking it up into 3. So you're getting it in 3 different days, 3 little segments. It's nice, man. It's a nice little bite-sized chunk.
Yeah, definitely. No, I agree.
I like it a lot. So Joe, for those who don't know, my boy Joe here, he does a little thing called Planet Nintendo Podcast with me, and he also he Twitch streams like a madman, and he is, like I said, he's one of the hardest working Twitch streamers I know.
This guy.
Don't this guy. Come on, bro. Like, you seriously work a lot of hours at it and stuff. So, but if you're not sure who Joe is, go check him out. Go check out all his work. JoAfterWork everywhere. Like anywhere you want to look for him, type in JoAfterWork and you got him, and it's good stuff. So so this past week, right? I got to bring this up just because, it's kind of weird for me. So when I left, I was leading the ranks, meaning like, Pat was a little bit ahead of me on YouTube subs, but I remember watching an episode. I just recently watched an episode where we congratulate you for hitting 1,000, right? And then I never looked at your sub count again after that, and you're at like 1,500, and I was like, and I had just hit 1,500 last weekend.
And congrats.
Thank you. And that's what prompted me to do the giveaway and all. But like, it was funny because when I went and looked, I was like, dude, like that 500 for you came out of nowhere.
Dude, Ash, I have no idea. And it stopped for a while too because YouTube got a little wonky late last year. And it was the same time. It hit us both.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think people don't realize. You get into YouTube and you feel like there's no growth, but it's actually happening. You're not even really paying attention to it because like I was gone for 6 months, right? And then I come back and I do my stuff, and it's like, dude, you've hit another 500 and like not even trying because that's the weird thing is like you don't push YouTube. YouTube's not it's there. And whatever happens, happens. And it's like, It just goes to show you, like, if people were interested in getting into it, if you just worked at it and pushed, dude, it can happen. Because here's somebody that's not even working at it, not even pushing, and his channel's growing, like, at rapid speeds. And it's like, it's pretty awesome.
It's crazy. It's like, you can just, like, okay, focus on one thing, and then people will ask you like, hey, are you on YouTube? Are you on Twitter or whatever? And then you're like, yeah, I'm on there. Just search my name. And then that's what people do, or people find older videos. Yeah. And that's how they find me.
Anyway, let's kick this episode off like we do each and every episode with our Geek Outs. And so Joe, you're new to this whole Geek Out thing and all that stuff. Dude. So I'm gonna. I feel like what I need to do is I need to geek out first.
Enlighten me, please.
So that way you can understand. Because I bring Joseph Moran on, and that moron doesn't understand what a geek out is, and he's over here promoting stuff, like promoting people and stuff. And I'm like, well, what are you doing, dude? This is not what this is. Like, this isn't shout outs. This isn't If We Ran Nintendo. So,
oh my god.
So I want to. So here we go. My geek out for this. I just got this yesterday in the mail. But you. Okay, let's start with this. So you have this. Those that can't see, you have the Satisfy grip, correct?
I don't have that one in particular, but yeah, I do have one.
Okay, so I bought the Satisfy grip after we did the. I think they're calling it BobbyCon now.
BobbyCon.
The episode Nintendo Talk Live, the 4-hour episode we did back over at Next Level Games. Bad Bit brought his, right? Because I ordered one, Bad Bit ordered one, and we both got them at the same time. Where he got his like a couple days before me. So now, Satisfy has come out with the mini grip.
Get out of here.
I just got it yesterday. It's built similar to the large one, but it's for the Joy-Cons. So you slide the Joy-Cons in. And the reason why I like this one is it offsets your right hand and brings your right hand down, right? And kind of angles it out a little bit. So this way your thumb lines up perfectly with the other analog stick. It is ideal, man. So good. I love this thing. So,
I like how it offsets that, like, just a bit, because it's like you're using so much action on your right hand.
Yeah.
So it's got that little bit of play.
Yeah, it's great for, like, Fortnite and all that stuff. And
what was that little nub thing that was in the middle there?
Down here?
Yeah.
And so when you stand it up, you can actually, like, it stands.
Huh. Okay.
And it stays upright, see?
Okay.
So it's that way. If you don't want to lay it down, you can keep it
You
vertical.
could stand it
Yeah,
upright.
you
Yeah,
keep it
yeah,
vertical.
yeah.
It's nice. It's nice.
That's neat.
What do you? So Joe, now that you've heard what a geek out is, what are you geeking out about?
Oh man, I am geeking out. I don't have anything physical. I haven't
You
got
don't
like
have to have
any
anything
physical
physical.
piece, but I started playing this game Anodyne that and it's like a top-down Link's Awakening-ish type game. Like
Mhm.
it pulls a lot of inspirations from there. You can tell right off the bat, like a lot of the trippiness there. But another game, since this is the Nintendo PlayStation podcast, this is also on PS4, is Remy Lore.
Okay.
It's like this it's you can kind of say anime Diablo, but without the the hordes of enemies and the massive multiplayer
Mhm.
portion of it. um it's you're going around hacking and slashing dudes here and there, but it's got like this roguelite element. So let's say you get to the end of like an act
Mhm.
and you die, you got to start from that section. They don't throw you all the way back, but you still keep all your weapons and you're upgrading and all that stuff. So I've been playing that, and that's from Nicholas.
Nice.
um that drops pretty soon, and I've been having fun with that game.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
and it's
awesome.
very Japanese, so
You love Japanese. You love
yes,
Japanese.
yes.
Um, okay, so we're gonna jump into our topics now, and I feel like by watching this or looking at the topics, I feel like your topic is a little bit more stronger than mine. So we're
Okay,
gonna go with mine first. We're gonna lead with mine. We're gonna go to yours on
cool.
the back half. So, okay. So the first topic, Nintendo topic, with Reggie leaving Nintendo of America, what does this mean for NOA moving forward? So this week, Thursday, Nintendo of America president Reggie Fils-Aimé stepped down after 15 years of service. He's not officially stepped down. April 15th will be his final day, but he stepped down. He's moving away from Nintendo, and so I was just curious, like, what does that mean for Nintendo? What's your knee jerk reaction when you hear this?
My knee jerk reaction, it's probably not one that many might think of, maybe, is the presence in the directs, like
Hmm.
him being around at all these different events. I think that that's a big thing where you have someone who's been there for as long as he's been there, 15 years.
Hmm.
And when you see him, it's like, oh my God, it's Reggie. It's Reggie. I remember E3 2 years ago when I was there for Mario Odyssey, and he just randomly came out. He just walked through the crowd, said hi to everybody, took like real quick pictures, shook hands, and then he dipped out. But in those 5 minutes that he was there was this aura of just like everyone's attention towards him, and everyone was just like, "Oh my God, it's Reggie! Yo, it's Reggie! It's Reggie! Reggie! Reggie!" And like I tried to take photos, but I was like, you'd think 5 feet is enough to take a good photo,
Hmm.
dude. It was terrible. Like I couldn't get a shot of him or anything. I couldn't even like. All I could do was just like wave down at him. But also seeing him like every now and again in like different videos, or like even at the Game Awards, like him there standing there with Phil Spencer and
Yeah.
with Sean Layden, uh, dude. That was huge. Like, I don't think it would have had the same impact. And no offense to Doug Bowser, he's been there for 3 years already. But like, I don't think the 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 name is there yet.
Well, yeah,
So
that's
like
gonna
it's
take
gonna get there.
it's gonna
It's gonna
take a
take
little
time.
bit for that to transpire and get over. You know what I mean? Oh, I gotta take these glasses off. They're killing me right now.
Yeah, yeah.
It'll take a little bit to get there. You know what I mean? Like it's
Of
not
course.
there yet. Um, but I feel like with Doug Bowser, what I've seen so far, I feel more than confident
Oh yeah.
that he will really take it to the next level. I mean, the guy comes in and he's leaning into his name heavily,
Hmm.
and like he gets it. You know what I mean? Like that to me is huge. That like somebody is already understanding that like, hey, we're president of the company, but we're also like we want to relate to the people that we're representing.
Of course.
So with me, my first knee jerk reaction was I wasn't sure if it was good or bad. But then I was quickly reminded that, Nintendo of America and Europe is a little different in terms of like they don't necessarily make all the decisions.
Mm-mm.
I would say 95% of the decision making comes out of Japan. And I think what Reggie and the president in Europe and in Australia and around the world, all the different territories, what they necessarily do is they will direct Nintendo of Japan in their territories.
Yeah.
Meaning, an example is, and I think the most recent example that this could be evident is when the 3DS was getting the faceplates. There was two versions coming out. There was the XL, and then there was the new. Okay, it was the new when the new
Yeah.
3DS was happening. They were getting new XLs and they were getting new small ones. The small ones had faceplates. The United States didn't get those small
No.
ones. Well, we did eventually, but it was only one version of it that came out. But
We didn't get them till like the summer, right? Or
yeah,
something like
well, it
that.
came with Animal Crossing Happy Home
Oh,
Designer.
Jesus Christ, that's right.
Yeah, when that game came out, that's when we got them. And it was only that version. That was it. Once they sold out, you couldn't get it no more. So the thing is like, so when that game came out, or when that console came out, NOA was like, those smaller handhelds don't sell well here, so we're not bringing it to the United States. Meanwhile, every other territory around the world got them, except for us, and I feel like that's a decision that's where Reggie's looking at the tea leaves and going like, hey, this doesn't sell well,
Yeah.
so there's no point bringing that here to us. Like, we're just going to take the big one, the little one stay there. I also feel that the other thing that he probably does is, if you remember back on the Wii, when people were screaming for Xenoblade Chronicles to get ported, I feel like he was involved in that. I feel like he played a role in that picture.
And I'm sure there was something there. It was the last story. We had this whole conversation yesterday on stream. It's funny that you brought this up. And that's one of the things that I hope Doug Bowser brings, because apparently he has a good relationship with Furukawa.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm hoping we get more of those strange older games somehow brought over.
Yeah.
Like, you already starting to see some of the difference in the online program games. So I'm hoping that kind of like starts to get brought over and is like, hey, we can localize this. We have this translated somewhere, or there are fan translated ones that are out there. Like, maybe bringing them on board to Treehouse and helping. I don't know, something along those
Mother
lines.
3, baby.
I didn't want to say it, but
Well, the thing is, I just watched a video the other day, with Reggie and his history of Mother 3, and basically it shows you the timeline, and all the quotes he ever said about it and stuff, and like how many times people would come to him about it. And the one thing that I in recent memory, I thought I read an article where they're now saying that like there's parts of the game that are just too sensitive to America, and I don't know what that could possibly be. I started to play it, and I stopped. I bought the fan translation, and I started to play, and I didn't like playing on the smaller screen. I need to find out a way to play that on a bigger screen.
you have the Game Boy Advance, right? Like, you're playing.
I was using
the
the DS.
No, I know, but it's
It's
a
a Game Boy
GBA
Advance
game, right?
Yeah, it's a GBA game.
You don't have like the GameCube Advance player, do you? Because I would say that's probably the best way.
I could get one of the. Oh yeah, I gotta talk to Nick Militia. I'll get
Yeah.
one. I'll get that
Because he
I
just
have a
got one
GameCube.
in the store.
He did.
with
I'm
the
going to
disc.
contact him. And he went on vacation, so it's got to still be there. I'm going to contact him and be like, if that thing's still there, I want it. And
Yeah,
then
that's how I did Link's Awakening.
because then I'll just hook the GameCube up. I have a GameCube. I bought a GameCube off of him as well, so I'll do that. But for me, that's what I feel like I want to do. because I'm just like I'm tired of waiting, and I was trying to be like a little respectful because I also thought it was coming soon. When they announced Earthbound Beginnings, I was like, oh my god, this is coming. Like,
It only made sense, right?
yeah, and then all of a sudden it was just like, and I do remember hearing that Earthbound Beginnings didn't have great sales numbers.
Mm.
But like Earthbound itself is still ranked. It's number 2 among virtual console games on the Wii U.
Jesus.
Number 2. So, and that was the high. And let's be serious here. Let's be legitimate for a minute. It's the highest priced virtual console game on the Wii U. They charged $20 for that thing, when all other Super Nintendo games was $7.99.
Because they could get away with it, which is kind of insane.
but it just goes to show that like there is a huge following for this game. The game has just grown over years because if you take a game, it's a virtual console game, you slap a $20 price tag on it, and it becomes the second highest selling game ever on the Wii U. Like, that tells you something. Like, it at least it tells me something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent here. So I ultimately the video kind of saddened me a little bit.
It was hard. It was like bittersweet, you know?
Yeah.
It's like the father that you didn't want to see go away, and like, Daddy, don't go.
Yeah, and he's like kicking you in the face as he's walking out the door. He's like, you're trying to grab his ankles, and he's like, get off. Boom.
I'm gonna go to my other family.
Exactly, and that's something I think we should bring up too. Is Reggie has said, like, this isn't for a move. This isn't for money. This is just, hey, I recognize what's going on here. I just want to retire. I just want to move on and do my thing. And I mentioned this on If We Ran Nintendo, where I felt like maybe Iwata's passing had a little bit to do with it. Meaning, Iwata's passing just came out of nowhere, and I think it obviously affected Reggie on some level because they were very close. And I think once he realized, like, hey, the ship is corrected, everything's okay after the Wii U, we got everything back, the vision that Iwata and myself and Miyamoto and we all had came to fruition, we got things fixed, I can now leave before, something happens to me, and let me go spend time with my family and enjoy life. And I'm not saying that's exactly why, but I think that probably played a small point or a small part in it,
Yeah, it's like, you leave at the high point, so that way when ish goes down, hey, it wasn't me. No, I'm kidding.
No, yeah.
But yeah, it's like, you know what, he's accomplished a lot while there. Like, the record shows for it, and they've had downs and ups, and what better time to leave than now when you see the shift happening in Japan, where this generation seems to be like all the younger folks starting to like take over, and like you see a lot of the new ideas happening. I mean, look at what they did with Breath of the Wild. Look at what hopefully they're trying to do in Metroid. Look at Splatoon as a new idea. Like, we're seeing more fresh IPs slowly but surely, and we're seeing all these partnerships with different third parties, Platinum. Oh my God, what's the not Tecmo Koei, but they're also bringing stuff to the Switch as well. Just in general, like, we're seeing a lot of these changes. So why not have those changes affect all the other branches?
Yeah, I think you're right, and you also see that, like, with Kimishima sipping down and Furukawa taking over. Like, he's younger. He is much younger, and Bowser isn't. Doug Bowser, I don't know exactly how old he is, but I think he's definitely younger than Reggie. But I don't think he's like Furukawa's age. I think he's a little bit older than Furukawa. But it's, to be honest with you, it wouldn't surprise me to see Nintendo of Europe's president step down now. But he's still relatively young, I believe. But it's interesting to see, like, it's almost like the new regime is coming in of the younger generation. It's almost like they're trying to poise themselves for the next 20 years of gaming. So it'll be interesting to see where we go. don't know. I guess we'll see where time
Yeah.
goes.
It's not like a Jack Trenton situation where he was like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah,
We corrected course, and then goes on to another company.
Yeah, exactly. So with that, we're going to take a little break here, Joe. This is what we do here. We take a small break.
Man.
But what I want to do is I want to tell people there's going to be, if you're watching the video version, there'll be a gameplay trailer happening. This is a game that you're very familiar with. 12 is better than 6.
Yeah.
Go check this game out if you get a chance. It is a phenomenal game. It launches March 5th on the eShop. Did you play any of it yet?
Yes, I have.
Okay, I've played as well. It's a top-down, hand-drawn shooter. Great storyline, great everything. Looks such a unique art style to it. Go check it out now. Joe and I will be back in a moment. See you then. And we are back. Thank you for sticking around and not going anywhere. It was a quick trailer. So so now we're on to the Sony topic. Do you remember what your topic is there, Joe?
Yeah, no, I just had to pull it up real quick because I was like, I remembered it. I didn't know how I phrased it.
Okay. So go ahead.
But yeah, no. So Resident Evil 2 and Kingdom Hearts 3, we're getting all these sequels this year that have been really long awaited, one more so than the other. And this is coming from like when I'm streaming some of these games, and I'll get asked the question, do I need to play the previous games in order to understand what's going on? And for me, over the years, I used to think that was the case. But my question for you is that, like, do you feel like with certain games, do you need to go back and like play? Do you feel like you need to go back and play the other games, or do you jump on in if you're not familiar with the series but curious about this new iteration that's out?
So I when you threw this question at me this week, I came back at you and was like, kind of like, Last of Us and Uncharted and God of War as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you think about it sometimes, like those franchises are so Uncharted and God of War. They're just storied franchises. They have a lot of lore to them. And when Uncharted 4 was coming, right? This is the best way I can equate it. So when Uncharted 4 was coming, they actually put out the Nathan Drake collection on PS4. So I bought the Nathan Drake collection, and I played 1, and I was like, okay, I like this. And I played 2, and I loved 2. I thought 2 was phenomenal, but I never played 3. And then I played 4, and I was like, oh, this is so good. And then, but God of War, I'll be honest with you, like I didn't pick it up because I was like, I don't know where it falls in the timeline. I don't know whether I'd be lost. I don't know if I would know what's going on. Like if I was in a situation where I didn't play Last of Us Part 1, would I be as, I don't think number one I'd be as hyped for Part 2 as I am. But I also think that I would kind of be like scared to jump in. So to put it in context to the games you just brought up, with Resident Evil 2 Remake, I feel like that game being a remake goes back far enough that you shouldn't be worried about knowing the backstory and all that. Because, and to be fair, it's the sequel to the first. There's been like 7 Resident Evil games over time, and probably a bunch of offshoots and all that stuff. So the thing is like, if you're going to go back and play 2, well, it's probably better to play this 2 than it is to play the original 2. And the other thing too is playing 1. Do you really want to play 1? It might not be up to snuff, and that's probably the reason why they even put in, why they jumped to 2 rather than remaking 1. You know, so
1 was already remade, just for context.
Don't trip me up here. Not like this though, was it? Like for the PS4 and the Xbox One and all that.
No, they were like the up-res GameCube versions, and they did this weird like widescreen thing where they like stretch some of the images or move the camera around.
So for me, if I'm gonna like, that one doesn't worry me, but Kingdom Hearts, that game, honestly, one of the reasons why I didn't pick it up, because I was just like, 2 reasons. One, the fan base tells you, oh, you gotta, you have to know the story in order to play it. And it's so deep. I'm like, dude, I don't feel like going back and playing 1 and 2. I feel like RPGs are very different. Like, a game like Resident Evil 2 or Uncharted or whatever, they're probably like 10 to 25 hour games, give or take. Unless you're a completionist and you want to get everything, then it'll probably take a little longer. But in a nutshell, you're probably looking at between 10 to 25 hours. It's a weekend. It's a few days in the week. You know what I mean? Like, it's very doable, you know? But when you're looking at a 100-hour RPG or a 50-plus hour RPG, man, you're talking about 300 hours almost to catch up on storyline. Not worth it to me. Not worth it. So, you know, and I if my memory is correct, did they not do like a story catch up in the beginning of this?
So yes, there is a little bit of a story recap that you can do separate from starting the game.
Okay.
Where it kind of gives you like the real Cliff Notes version of what's going on for each, you know, subset of characters, because there are a lot of characters in the game, and you can check on that separately. I feel like they did a good job with that, because it's like 5-minute videos of like, here's what you missed. Boom, 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 boom. And here's like the key points. Like, they even named them certain things, so you kind of have an idea of like what characters they might be focusing in on.
Yeah.
But the game itself, and I feel like this gets overseen a lot and people make jokes about it that you won't understand anything of what's going on, even if you catch up. The Kingdom Hearts 3 itself does a good job of filling you in on who's who and where they've been and what they've been doing within the story, the plot of the story itself. So it's like, you'll see a character and like, who the hell is this?
Yeah.
They'll introduce the character without saying it up front and blatant. Like, they don't have like a narrator go in, blah, 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 this, that, and the other thing. Like, they're having the conversation between each other. And I thought that was interesting, that they found a way to fill it in without really playing, without you playing the other games. So like, for me, I went in, I was like, there ain't no way in hell I'm finishing all these games before Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm not going to wait. I'm jumping in.
Yeah.
I played 1 and 2 and Chain of Memories. That was my extent. And I felt fine going in playing that game.
Yeah.
But mind you, I'd played those games years ago. Yeah. So my memory of what's going on is kind of shot. And I'd watch videos here and there of like some of the other games. And I have the collections. It's just a matter of time of playing them. There was a shout out to CV. Like, he was like, dude, should I jump in and play this, or should I get the other collection? I was like, you know what? If you're going to get the collection, you're going to probably burn yourself out, like playing all those games in one shot just to play this game then, and possibly be like, all right, I'm burned out. I'm not going to finish the game. He bought it, and it was like, okay, yeah, this is like I'm enjoying myself here. Like I've cried a billion times in all these different worlds, and now he bought the collection and went back and starting to play the other
Holy
ones.
cow!
So it's like I feel like that's like inspiration to if you enjoy what you're playing there, like dive into this one before you dive into like the other ones
Yeah,
because that might inspire you to play the other ones and get the
yeah,
meta of everything that's going on there.
yeah. I think too. What's a little daunting with a Kingdom Hearts game is, where there is a bunch of sub games. Like there was a whole bunch of stuff on the 3DS and the DS and all that stuff.
Everything is canon. That's the
Yeah,
problem with that game.
yeah,
But but you can play. I feel like, and I'll probably be in the minority of this. I feel like you can play that game and not have played any of the other ones.
okay,
I think that's the good enough job. Like, and perfect example was there was a situation where two characters came up, and I was like, oh snap, I've not seen these characters before.
hmm,
And then before they can introduce themselves, everyone in chat was saying who they were and filling in their backstory. I was like, but they just introduced it right there. They just told me what was going on there. Why is everyone saying that like I'll be lost playing this? I don't get it.
yeah. It's I don't know. So like when I think, and this is something that I think people need to understand too, is like certain RPGs as well. Like you don't need to go back. Like Final Fantasy, you never need to
Yes.
go back.
Hmm.
You could grab any Final Fantasy game and play it. They're all, except for like 10, 10, 2, they are all basically standalone games. There is never a sequel within them. So the only reoccurring character is a guy named or a person named Sid, and that's it. CID. He's in every single game, and it's not. It's never the same person. It's just the name, and that's it. It's the only connecting lineage to all the games. Um,
Kind of upset they got rid of the Biggs and Wedge thing.
yeah, yeah, that was yeah,
Neat little Star Wars
yeah,
reference.
yeah. Um, trying to think if there's any other stuff now with Dragon because Dragon Quest XI's coming out. You don't need to go back and like they're not standalone games, but they're also not that hard to keep up with what's going on either.
To my understanding, I don't think so. But I know like the weird ones like Dragon Quest Builders take place in between
Hmm.
one and two. Like I know some of them connect
Yeah,
in some sort of story sense, but I've never really played any of the Dragon Quest games, so I'm kind of at a loss for
my first one was
what's what.
Well, back in the day, it was called Dragon Warriors, and I played the first one. I actually have a copy of it behind me.
That's right.
Yeah, I have a copy of
Yes.
it behind me in box, like complete in box. So
I have the Game Boy Color one.
it's not the best looking box, but whatever. But I played that one and I beat it. Right, it's the first RPG I ever played, and I beat it. I put so many hours into that game, and those games are tough, man. You need to grind in those games, and that honestly, that's what taught me how to grind. Like games like Final Fantasy and all that stuff, they're not that tough. They're not that hard because when you come from a Dragon Warrior, Dragon Quest era of gaming where you have to grind in order to just, dude, it would take an hour of grinding just to go up a level. Like it would take not an hour. It would
No,
take
yeah,
hours
I
of
get what you're
grinding
saying.
to go up one level, and then that one level would get you probably 10, 15 minutes of storyline because that's about as far as you could advance. It was so hard,
That's how
and
it used to be,
that's
man.
how
That's
it
how
used
it
to
used to
be.
be.
And then you get and that's why I think a lot of people loved Final Fantasy because it was like, okay, if you grind, if like so when I was playing Octopath, I
Mhm.
went into these grind modes where I was just going round and round and round and round, and I would like I'm jumping up levels, like going up to level 25 and all that, and it was like, okay, and I go into and like I'm blowing through the battles, and I heard a lot of people struggling with the battles, and it was like this is a hard game, and I'm like, man, the battles that I went in, I only struggled one time. And then once I completed that battle, I never struggled again because I started realizing, like, okay, before you go into a town, man, get everybody up like one or two levels, and then go in. And like I was way ahead of the curve, so when I would go in, I never truly struggled in those levels. I never beat the game yet, but I never struggled either. So it's it's pretty cool to go back and do that stuff. I think the answer to your question though ultimately is, man, it depends on the game. It really does. Like every game is different. Like Metal Gear Solid 5, when I played that, like I played the original, I beat the original, I played the second one, did not beat the second one, but I put a good amount of time into the second one. Don't think I played 3. Tried Snake Eaters. Tried Twin Snakes on whatever, the GameCube, and then actually played on the 3DS, and I was like, this game is just cutscenes. It's like 45-minute cut. Like, what the hell is going on right now?
It's the Kojima thing.
It's trash. That game is trash. And it's not even a game, dude. It's like a movie. It's like a movie where whatever.
He likes to make movies out of his video games.
Like, don't get me wrong. I love it. You know what I mean? But I don't want 45-minute cutscenes. Like,
don't play 4.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like 4 was the scene, but 5 went somewhat back to basics a little bit. But at the end of the day, like you can almost like 5, like to jump in and play 5. I felt like you really didn't need to know anything that was going on in those games.
It was a sequel to a PSP game, if I recall, Peace Walker.
Yeah. to some degree. Well, in terms of mechanics, but the sequel was the overall arc of where it goes. But if you played 1 and you played 5, you didn't need to play all the stuff in between. Like I felt like those two bookended the game perfectly. But there's many games where it's just like a Mario game, doesn't matter which one. Like people never ask, do I have to play all the Mario games to understand what's going on? Like you never hear that question.
It's the lore. You gotta know how many times Bowser has captured Peach.
Yeah, but with Zelda, you never need to play one Zelda to the next because the only one is 1 and 2. That's it. They're the only sequels within the games.
I would even rival like Metroid would be something that you can kind of jump into. Even the Prime series is kind of like, okay, she's on a different planet, bounty hunting for God knows what, and then you're getting your items here and there. But I think you could play any one of those games and be totally fine.
Yeah, I agree. I'm 100% with you. So, Joe, before we jump into our final segment here, I just wanted to talk a little bit about what we're playing. And so we have 2 more kind of segments left, but what we're playing is going to be one of them. And I'll let you go first. Like, what's some good stuff?
Dude, I went down the rabbit hole. I just started Xenoblade Chronicles.
The
original.
One? Oh, my God.
Yes.
What is wrong with you?
I mean, what's wrong with me? There's a lot of things. I mean,
know. I don't know how you. I want to know how you have time to play these JRPGs, and not only that, zip through them so fast.
Well, I mean, when you start to like understand what's going on, you can kind of like figure out the systems and get through pretty quick.
So,
but I mean, I still spend a lot of time on them off camera.
That's the thing. So where are you playing it at?
I'm playing it through my Wii U. Okay, so here's the thing. I do have the 3DS version. We originally started doing it on the 3DS.
They put it on the Wii U. I forgot they put it on the Wii U.
They did, but I got it for cheaper physical, so I actually have a physical copy of that game. Okay. I bought it with Chronicles X, I think, at the same time.
You know what's crazy is that game was going for like $70-$80 at one point. Like, it was crazy, the price that game was fetching. But then, it come out on the Wii U, and it dropped the price big time.
I'm very happy about that. But yeah, it has an instruction booklet and everything. Like, it's a good copy.
Oh my God.
I'm very happy about this.
That's crazy. So go ahead, let's jump into it. What's your thoughts?
I'm liking it so far. My heart's already broken. Like, that beginning sequence of the first couple hours is just like, oh, wow, they kind of drive the nail into your heart, like, real quick, the stake in the heart real quick.
It's brutal.
I was like, okay, I'm in. You got my attention. But yeah, no, I started playing the 3DS version, and then we switched over to the Wii because, like, the way I have things stretched out on the streams, it just looks super pixelated. Yeah. So I was just like, all right, this looks like a hot mess on here. Yeah. I'm not going to do that. So we went to the Wii. Everything's cool. I didn't notice because I've talked about this before with you. The Wii being like my least spent time out of all the Nintendo consoles,
Mm-hmm.
and so I started going back and like buying older games.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that there was a Pro Wii controller. I thought it
Yeah.
was just a classic controller.
No, it was a weird
So
looking. It looked like the classic, but it had arms that came down on it.
yeah, so I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I want that because I am not messing with this nunchuck Wiimote hot mess right now with a game like this. So
Yeah.
I went and bought one on Amazon yesterday, and I'm getting it on Tuesday. So I guess, full circle on that geek out right there. I'm very excited to be getting that.
Full circle on the geek out. Yeah, you tried to make what we're playing come in very soon in the game in the episode. For me, I mean, I played a little 12 was better than 6 this week. I'm enjoying my time with that so far. My main thing that I've been playing most of the time. Well, okay, there's 2 games, but I'll do one and then do you have another game you're playing too or no?
I'm gonna get back into the Resident Evil 2 because they dropped some free DLC,
Oh
Ghost
wow.
Survivors.
Okay.
They're like what if scenarios of characters that you've seen in Resident Evil 2,
Mm-hmm.
but never have been able to play as.
Okay.
So like Kendo, the gun shop dude who like dies right in the beginning, but has a crazy serious role in this one, even if it is for just like a 5-minute cutscene.
Yeah.
It's like heartbreaking.
Yeah.
The mayor's daughter, which you only ever see just dead on a table from Chief Irons,
Oh boy.
and a random police officer from the RPD, which I
Nice.
thought was pretty cool.
Nice. So for me, 2 games, Ali Ali, I jumped into, and I really enjoy Ali Ali. Ali Ali is a fun game. You buy them both; they're in the combo pack. Ali Ali 1 and 2, but it's just a fun, carefree kind of like skateboarding game. You have a level, you're going through, you're doing tricks and all this stuff like kick flips and all that, and like all this crazy stuff. It's really a fun game. I really truly enjoy it a lot. The music is really good with it as well. And the other game I'm playing a lot of is Fortnite. So I actually what I like what they did with Fortnite was season 7 was over like a couple weeks ago, and then what they did was they crammed you into a season 7 overtime before they jumped into 8. And then what they said to you was, we're going to put out this challenge pack, 20 challenges. If you can complete 13 challenges in the next 2 weeks, you will get the season 8 battle pass for free. So the other night on stream, I actually did it. I actually completed it, and I am now getting the season 8 battle pass for free.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which is awesome. And the challenges weren't super hard at all. And then last night, I actually went in and I completed all 20. So I completed the whole thing. I don't get anything special other than like experience levels and all that. But the cool thing was I got a Victory Royale last night. And that game, I can get into moments where I get really godlike or really bitch mode, like quick. More times than not, I'm in the B mode.
Sounds like Tetris 99.
Don't talk yet. We'll get into that. So the thing is like, I'm last night I was playing, and dude, I just knew a Victory Royale was coming last night. I went into this one match and got 6 kills. And for me, 6 kills is unheard of. Like, I'm lucky if I get 1, maybe 2. Literally just went in and was wrecking shop on these guys. And then, like, when I died, I even felt like, man, I shouldn't have died at that point. Like, the guy just happened to get lucky. I hit him with 2 shots in the head. He jumped over me. And when he jumped over me, he just headshotted me and put me down. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man. Like, I had him on the ropes ready to go. And we were the final 3. So if I would have killed him, there was only one more guy left. So then I fired. I got so mad, I fired it back up, go into another match, get 3 kills, get the Victory Royale. And I was like, dude, this is amazing.
Oh my God.
Amazingness. So,
they've been doing a lot. Like,
yeah.
I'm always impressed. Like, when you're talking about it, I'm like, damn, they really do a lot for like it being of like trying to make it as much of a you don't have to pay for this. It
Oh,
sounds
dude,
like
every week,
like
every week there's free stuff, man. Every
just
week,
outside looking in. Like
every day they have daily challenges. Every week they put out a new week of challenges. Like, dude, it's legit, man.
that's
It's
awesome.
legit, man. It's a lot of fun. Because I could do one or two things. I could jump into stream and play with Dude. Like the other night, it was me, Dude, Rybo, and Joseph Moran, and the four of us were just going at it and having a blast. And I can either play
That's
that
awesome.
way and just have a blast, or I can just jump into it by myself and just start knocking out missions by myself. In some missions, they'll be like, hey, you have to get like 3 top 15s in duos. And then when it comes to that, I'll like message somebody and be like, hey man, you want to jump into some duos real quick? Sure enough, they jump in, we play, and then you go your way, I go my way, and I just keep taking down challenges.
That's awesome.
So Joe, we have a new segment here that we do here on the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. I've changed the name twice already now, but this is going to be the final change, I think. The segment is called "From Out of the Warp Pipe," and basically what it is we're going to take a couple of questions from around the internet and the interwebs that inquiring minds would like to know, and we're going to spend about 5 minutes on each question. So, this way we keep it going. So the first question: what do you think Nintendo's next mobile game will be after Dr. Mario and Mario Kart World Tour? So we know they're leading heavily into mobile games. Furukawa has even said that, like, hey, we're going to start doing some more mobile games. But what do you think is the next possible mobile game we could see from Nintendo?
Man, all right. So we're getting we're getting two rather well-known things. I think we go really obscure on this next one. And this is me reading way too much into this, but there was a filing for The Last Story on mobile, if I recall,
Really?
like a few months back.
Okay.
What if they do something random with that? Like, I say, you know what? We go another. We give a Dragalia Lost like shot at another random obscure title.
Have you played any Dragalia Lost?
I have. I played it like when it dropped and occasionally here and there, but I never got through that story. I was like, dude, I would love to play that on my Switch. Like, that's what it always comes down to. Like, I know it'll never happen, but I wouldn't mind seeing these games drop on the Switch at some point, because I think for me, I would jump in more often than on my phone. Like, they just sit there. I download them, and then they sit there.
Wouldn't it be nice if they did like a cross-play thing, or you know what I mean, like where you play on the mobile, and when you're done and you save it, it'll save to your the Switch and that file, because all it would take is the backup saves just basically are cloud saves based upon your username. So if Nintendo could do something like where it's like, hey, you have Nintendo Switch Online, okay, we're going to cloud save this for you. So you play on mobile, cloud saves, then you can play on the Switch, cloud save, and you're good to go.
Doesn't it somewhat save like through your My Nintendo account? Like, your Nintendo account is tied to it. There has to be something there, right?
Something there. I've never played the game, so I don't know. But I just think of like, I know there was rumors at one point that like Pokemon Go was going to come to Switch. And that kind of
the Let's Go?
No, Pokemon Go. Like the
the Switch. Sorry,
there was a rumor that Pokemon Go was going to come to the Switch, and that never got announced. But my question is like, what's the point? Number one, it's a mobile game. How are you going to be able to go out into your yard and catch Pokemon when you have to have
one's
connection
a little
to Wi-Fi or internet?
harder.
So that one's a little bit tougher. But like a game like this, why not? You know what I mean? Like, why not make it where, hey, when you're out and about, you use your phone.
Yeah, that soundtrack is off the hook.
For
Dragalia Lost. Oh my god, dude! Like, that first like month, there was nothing but memes of just like people dancing, and then having the Dragalia Lost. Like, there's when you get out into the main menu, there's like you're just treading along, but like it's this hype music that's just going through, and everyone just started making memes about it. Hysterical.
Okay, so next topic. Who is your favorite Legend of Zelda character minus Link? So who's your favorite character in The Legend of Zelda?
Oh man. Oh, that's off the damn favorite character off. I mean, I liked Sheik in Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
Like, I think for me that was like that defining moment of, hey, you can have more than just Link be the hero here
Mm-hmm.
of the story.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna have to go with Sheik on that one.
For
She even
me,
had her own theme and everything. The harp.
see, for me, it's tough, and I totally forgot his name. Oh my god, I know it's was it Regalio?
Oh, fake Falco.
Yes,
Why am I?
fake Falco. Um, what the hell is his name?
Oh my god.
I know it's called. Oh my god, dude.
No, I got you, Bobby. I got you,
I
Bobby.
had
This
it.
is sad because I should know
I
this.
had it prior to coming on because I was like, I like this guy, and then I totally lost the name of him. Um. Oh God, I'm getting old, man. I can't remember anything. I'm trying to stall too because you're looking it up, and I'm like, maybe Joe will come through any second here.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
People
Oh
are like,
my
you're
god. Yo, this is terrible. Rivali.
Rivali. That's it, Rivali. It's because it's Rivali. I'm thinking Rinaldi, and
I
I'm
kept wanting to say Rufio, and I was like, no.
Rivali. I like Rivali because his attitude, and he's kind of like bit of a jerk off, and I like that about him. Like,
He's like Falco. I'm sorry.
yeah, oh, he looks a lot like Falco, that's for sure. But I liked him in Breath of the Wild. I mean,
Yeah.
I think if you're talking like old school Nintendo, I like the Gorons. The Gorons are always kind of cool. They're kind of neat. Um, my favorite enemy, although he scares the hell out of me, and this isn't what the question I know, but the Lionels.
Oh my god, the Lionels are terrifying.
Oh God, they still scare the hell out of me.
They
man.
still creep me out.
Oh, they scare
I don't know
the
what it
crap out of
is.
me, man. I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm out. So okay, so the last question we have here within the from out of the warp pipe is, what are some new modes you'd like to see added to Tetris 99?
Ooh. The I don't know if this is so much a mode as it is a feature, but being able to jump into the 99 with your friends.
Yes, yes, because I would love to get like a bunch of us to go in and
Yeah.
play. Now, here's another question: would it be kind of cool to do squad-based stuff, like where maybe trios, where like the three of like if you had three of you going in and you're a team and you're trying
Yeah.
to like either team up against somebody or that'd be kind of cool to be
I
like, we're gonna squad it up in like three because it's 99, so you can't do four player squads, but you could do threes and have like a bunch of teams of three. What was it, 33 teams of three, like throw them in there and just be like, okay, here you go. Be kind of neat, and because what happened, like if me, you, and Rybo were playing, the three of us would jump into voice chat and play together and be like, oh, this
Yeah.
guy's like teaming up on me, like let's try to get him out, and
Strategy strategy within a strategy game.
Yeah.
A strategy puzzle game. That's insane.
I think the one
That's
thing
meta.
I think the one thing it definitely needs is a solo mode, just like an endless mode where you're just playing to kind of like.
Almost like a practice area.
Yeah, but it's
like
just
a
like
practice arena.
I would just have it be like, hey, here's the classic Tetris game. If you just want to play Tetris, you want to play the original Tetris, here it is. Just go. Because there's people I know that have it that are afraid to play because they don't want to play the competition. Because, listen, you've played. It's a different beast. It's a different animal. It is not Tetris.
I haven't broken top 10 yet. I've gotten to 13th place, dude. I'm like,
Yeah, I think I got to... No, I got to 10 the other night.
nice.
And that's it.
Nice.
That's the closest I've gotten.
Dude.
And it's not easy. And the thing is, like, day 1 to 3, I feel like your original Tetris strategies worked. And then, all of a sudden, people learned what the hell the game was. And it does not work no more. And what I mean by that is, if I was to play Joe, I would immediately start working to build Tetrises. And to get it to the point where I'm going to either get one Tetris or 2 or 3 in a row, and set it up to that way, like, hey man, I'm good to go here. And if Joe's hit me with garbage, I could build up and then come back at him and stuff. And this game is like, no, you need to keep your levels very low. You need to keep sending junk out into the ether, and you need to keep hammering it away. Because if you start building those levels up, especially when you hit about top 60 to 50, dude, you'll sit there and
you're going to start getting attacked.
Dude, I can watch, this is no lie, I've had it numerous times where within seconds, my levels go from three lines to up out of the screen. Because 3 people are triggering me at once. And it's like, that just feels so cheap, man.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, I think the most I've had was like 5 or 6 people attack me at once, and then I was out in the game as soon as like that 5th person came and attacked me.
It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, it's so hard, man. And I watch some people play it. It's like, dude, how the hell are they playing this? And the thing is, too, that it does is when you hit top 50, it speeds up. And then it starts to, not only do you have people throwing stuff at you, but the blocks are falling quicker. I was watching Benji Kong play the other day, and he said, this is the equivalent to hiding in Fortnite. And what he was doing was, he had the level, and he would just let the blocks fall.
No.
But at their own rate.
Yeah.
And like, so the first block would come, and it's like, he just would line it where he wants it to fall into, and then wouldn't touch anything. And it's just like, blip, 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 and then it would lock in the next piece. And like, I guess because he's not attacking, he's like falling under the radar. And then he gets himself prepped for the end, and it's like, this is nuts, man.
That's hysterical.
It is hysterical.
Oh my god.
It was on his Twitter feed, so if you see it, go check it out. It's funny as hell, man. So, so that is all. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. Mr. JoAfterWork, thank you for coming on. And if you want to follow Joe and check out all that he is doing, just search JoAfterWork everywhere. Go to joafterwork.com, on the Twitters, on the Instagrams, YouTube, Twitch. Just search for JoAfterWork, and that's pretty much it. To find me, you can follow me over at nintendoguru.com or Instagram and Twitter at Nintendo Gurus. Don't forget, we're having a massive giveaway over on the YouTube channel. We're giving away a Switch. We're giving away Let's Go Eevee. And we're also giving away, with the Pokeball Plus, and we're also giving away a 1-year subscription to Nintendo Online to one person. It is open to international, wherever you want it. If you win, you get it. That is all. Peace out, Preston.